You've been told your whole life that crying makes you weak. But here's the truth nobody has the guts to say out loud. People who cry easily might be operating at a level of emotional intelligence most people will never reach. Or they're completely drowning in it. Let's find out which one you are. You tear up at a commercial. You cry during arguments. Someone raises their voice and your eyes go wet before your brain even catches up. You've apologized for it. You've hid in bathrooms. You've told yourself to toughen up 1,000 times. It hasn't worked. And it never will because you've been solving the wrong problem. Here's the first thing that should shake you. Crying easily isn't a flaw in your character. It's a signal from your nervous system. Your body is reacting to emotional overload the same way it reacts to physical pain. You don't tell someone they're too sensitive for bleeding when they're cut. But somehow you've spent years being ashamed of the same exact process, just happening inside your chest instead of on your skin. Stop apologizing for your biology. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because there are two types of people who cry easily, and most people don't want to admit which one they actually are. The first type? Deeply empathetic. High emotional awareness. They feel everything, their own pain, other people's pain, the weight of the world, and their body processes it honestly. These are often the people who notice what others miss, who sit with you in your worst moments without flinching. Their tears aren't weakness. They're proof of depth. The second type? Emotionally dysregulated. Unprocessed trauma sitting just under the surface. Every little trigger pulls the thread, and the whole thing unravels. It's not sensitivity. It's a wound that never healed, dressed up as a personality trait. So which one are you? Because if you're honest, really honest, you probably already know. Here's the second hard truth. The people in your life who made you feel embarrassed for crying, they didn't teach you emotional strength. They taught you emotional suppression. And suppression doesn't make feelings disappear. It just buries them until they explode at the worst possible moment. During a fight at work, in front of someone you're trying to impress. That's not control. That's a delayed detonation. Real emotional strength is not crying less. Real emotional strength is understanding why you're crying and not being destroyed by it. Here's the mindset shift that actually changes things. Your tears are data. They're not a verdict on your toughness. They re-information. They're telling you something matters. They're telling you a boundary was crossed. They're telling you a wound is still open. Instead of fighting the signal, get curious about what it's saying. Ask yourself, right in that moment, what just happened inside me? What does this reaction actually mean? That one question, asked consistently, will do more for you than a decade of telling yourself to stop being so emotional. And the third truth, the one that stings the most. If you've been crying your whole life and you've never once sat down to seriously understand why, that's not sensitivity. That's avoidance wearing a sensitive person's face. Feeling everything is not the same as understanding anything. You don't get credit for depth just because you cry. You earn it by doing the work to understand what's underneath. So here's your challenge. Next time you feel the tears coming, don't stop them. Don't apologize. Don't run. Just ask one question. What is this actually about? Because the people who have mastered their emotions didn't become robots. They became translators. They learned to read the language their body was speaking. You can do that too. But only if you stop being ashamed of the message long enough to actually hear it. Stop managing your tears. Start understanding them.